Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1433. Happy Tuesday, March 25th. We are a week away from April. We're just days away from opening day, a holiday. It will be here. Normally, I rip some wax on opening day, and I haven't. Somebody asked me in the chat a while back if I was going to do that this year, and I don't plan on it, but I'm not sure. Topps Heritage High number was released, or at least the checklist was released. I think it may come out tomorrow. I don't know, but it's last year's Heritage High number. My hat. Is my hat off? My hat feels off. Anyway, so I'm looking at the checklist and I'm like, well, this is a weird rookie class. I'm like, oh, we've already had 2025 Topps Series 1, and now we're getting 2024 Heritage High number. I mean, because I'm a sucker for Chicago Cubs cards, I'll probably be on the lookout. I will be on the lookout for Cubs cards from Heritage High number, but I don't know if I'll go out and buy any. And Heritage, by the way, is, in my opinion, the worst retail product you can buy. Actually, it's kind of tied with Allen and Ginter. Allen and Ginter and Heritage High number, like the worst retail, like shit, garbage. Doesn't mean I don't buy any, because I'm not going to buy a hobby box. That's for certain, especially at $130 or whatever the price point is. I'm sure it's over 100. I'm not going to buy a hobby box. It does have some decent because it's last year's rookie class. There's some Chase, Paul Skeens, and Jackson Churio have rookie cards in Heritage High number. So if I'm not going to make any special trips, I don't even know when is. Talking about opening day, I don't even know when opening day is. I think it's next week, right? Let's go to the app. Let's go check out my Chicago Cubs schedule, because they're already playing the Atlanta Braves, which means, hey, and I'm sure it's probably Monday. Let's see, schedule March. Wait, is opening day tomorrow? I think opening day is tomorrow. That makes sense because AAA opening day is Friday. Well, how about that? I guess I probably won't be ripping anything because I don't foresee myself going to Target or Walmart today or tomorrow. Wow. So the Cubs play their last spring training game this afternoon against the Braves. So I knew they played the Braves yesterday. And that meant that, hey, spring training is about over. There's Steve, Thursday night, Chase Field, Arizona. So, yeah, wow. I'm like, oh, opening day is a few days away. It's like Monday. I was thinking it was Monday. Shit, it's Thursday. Even better. You know what really sucks? It's Thursday night at my time, 9:10 my time. That's when I go to bed. First pitch is when I go to bed. So you know damn well I'm not going to be staying up for the entire opening day. I that may make me a fair weather fan. I don't care. I'm not staying up past 10 o'clock. Maybe I will. We'll see. Playoffs, absolutely. Oh, not even opening day do I want to stay up. That's bullshit. Night game in Arizona. I'm sorry, Steve. That's bullshit. Come on. Give me day baseball. So Thursday night opening day for the Cubs and Diamondbacks, Chase Field in Arizona. So with opening day being, what's the schedule like? Because you know damn well I'll be watching baseball during the day because there's some teams that opening week. Show me the schedule. I want to see a schedule. I'm on the MLB. Here we go. Scores. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right. So we've got Orioles and Blue Jays. So we don't have any early games The first game is the Orioles and Blue Jays, which, hey, I'm a big Orioles fan. Not fan, but I root for the Orioles. And, when it comes to teams that I'm not actually a fan of, that I like root for, it's always because it's the player. Are they a young, exciting team? Because young teams with like rookies, yeah, there's some business side. It's like, oh yeah, let's sell Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson, who I think is going to be on the IL, and Adley Rushman. But it's like, there's excitement around, the rookies and the youth. So that's why I'm an Orioles liker, not a fan, but I root and want to see success out of the Baltimore Orioles. So they play the Blue Jays. And then we got the Twins and Cardinals. We know who I'm rooting for in that matchup. Go Minnesota. Twins and Cardinals at 3:15. Oh, wait, this is not in order. So there might be an earlier game. We've got so that's at 3:15. 2:05, Brewers and Yankees. I won't be able to watch that because I'll be blacked out. YouTube TV does not carry the whoever the Brewers play on, whatever station that is. 3:05, Red Sox Rangers. These are Thursday's opening day games. 3:05, Phillies Nationals. This is all Central Time. 3:10, Guardians Royals. 3:10, Mets Astros. 3:10, Giants Reds. 3:10 is the time of the day. Braves Padres, also Angels White Sox, also Pirates Marlins. And then we've got our night games. 6:10, Tigers Dodgers. That stupid 9:10 first pitch for the Cubs and Diamondbacks, and then also a 9:10 first pitch. Wouldn't you know, the 9:10 first pitch is the MLB.TV free game of the day. But if you got T-Mobile, you get MLB TV for free. And thankfully, one of the players in my fantasy baseball league has T-Mobile, so we get it. Use his login. Athletics and Mariners. So there you go. Opening day, just a couple days away. So it's so today's topic, baseball season is almost here, is actually really timely. More timely than I thought when I typed it in just 10 minutes ago. So I am late this morning. If you didn't notice, I slept in. I think my alarm went off, and I think I turned it off. I'm not sure. But I got up and it was, oh, shit. It's 7 o'clock, and took Ernie. I had to wipe Ernie's butt. He's shaggy. So there's benefits and drawbacks to shaggy Ernie. The benefit is he's like the cutest little fluffer when he's shaggy. However, the drawback is, like this morning, sometimes he gets poopy butt. And he had a little poopy butt this morning. And so I had to wipe his ass before I put him back into bed with mom. So little poopy butt on the shaggy Ernie. He had a weird day at doggy daycare. So he was home all weekend with us. We did not take him to Pupper Pre-K on Saturday. We just kept him at home and kept him home Sunday. And he was really good. Like the reason we started taking him every Saturday was because he would get he needs to exert so much energy, and like it would either take us playing with him constantly all day. Otherwise at bedtime, he's a nightmare. Like he's got so much energy built up. He didn't get it out during the day that he's kind of a nightmare at bedtime. But he was good. And he was the typical Ernie. We went for a walk on Saturday. I think we went for a walk on Sunday. We played, and he went to doggy daycare. Like, oh, hey, it's gonna be fun. Like yesterday morning, everything was good. He had he had a little bit of breakfast in the morning, and he had a little bit of Zoomies. I dropped him off. He's all excited, very excited. Very excited to go to doggy daycare. Just like every other day, nothing off. I checked in on the little nanny cam mid-morning, and he wasn't playing, but none of the dogs were playing. They were all just kind of like, there were like 3 humans in the room. So when the humans are in the room, the dogs are like, oh, humans. And so Ernie was like doing that, and with the other, like just typical normal Ernie behavior. So my wife picks, like I usually drop him off. My wife picks him up, and they come home, and I go upstairs, and I'm like, Ernie, did you have a good day at doggy daycare? And he never answers me. But my wife says, no, he did not have a good. I'm like, oh shit, what did he do? And so I guess when my wife picked him up, they came out and, brought him out and said, so he was acting a little off this afternoon. Apparently he was like lethargic, which is not Ernie like. Like Ernie's, that's not a term in his vocabulary. Lethargic is not Ernie. And they're like, he wanted to go back into his crate. And it's like, that's weird. So they're just like, keep an eye on him. And it's like, okay. And I don't know if he like just because he was home all weekend and all of a sudden he's overstimulated at doggy daycare. And like, because usually he's there 6 days and not 5. Maybe he just got overstimulated and just got tired early. But when he got home, he was like we were throwing his toy around. He's chewing his bone. He had his treat. Like it was Ernie of normal Ernie. So interesting. So we're going to check in throughout the day. Today, we're going to take him to doggy daycare, check in on him, see how things are. But he didn't show any signs of lethargy when he got home last night. So we'll keep an eye on him. And he was good this morning. He took his pee and poop this morning. Hey, I've got auctions. 470 auctions are currently live in my eBay store. Get those bids in. The first auctions, I think, end on opening day on Thursday night is when the first round of auctions end. And we've got auctions ending Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, tonight. There'll be more auctions going live tonight, ending next Tuesday, which you know what that means. Next Tuesday, a week from today, a week from tonight, we will do eBay auctions live. Once again, it's been a while. So eBay auctions live returns next Tuesday. I've got, there's a little bunny. I haven't seen the bunny in a while. I've got a bunch of basketball. We've got LeBron's going live tonight. Luka's. We've got rookies, which you can get these at Steals. The Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Chet Holmgren, Zion, like that stuff is just going for pennies. So get those bids in. Of course, these auctions haven't started, but they start tonight. Also, some baseball prospects. We've got some Jackson Merrill, some refractors, Jackson Jobe, Spencer Strider, Churio, quite a few Churios going live tonight. So some good baseball prospects going live tonight as well. Check it out, 99centcards.com. Buy it now section also full of cards and other items. When you buy 7 or more items in the buy it now section at regular price, you'll save 25% off at checkout at 99centcards.com. One more thing to get out of the way, and then we'll get to the chat. This Saturday is the Madison Card Show. Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. 140 dealer tables, including PSA. PSA will be in the house this Saturday at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. PSA will be set up along the south wall upstairs, Capitol Square Ballroom, right in the main entrance as you walk in the upstairs ballroom. You can drop off cards, items, Funko Pops even to get graded and authenticated. They do autograph authentication. Nothing is in person, no same day. It's all drop off. So you come in, drop your item off directly to PSA. We talked about the pros and cons yesterday. Won't rehash that, but drop your items off this Saturday. PSA in the house at the Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. So that's this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free admission to the show. Come on out and see us on Saturday. My show, it's going to be a busy. April seems to be a busy hobby month for me. Seems like it was the last couple years also. So following the Madison Card Show this weekend, The following weekend, Saturday, I think it's April 5th, I will be set up in Wheaton, Illinois at the DuPage County Fairgrounds for the Premier Card Show's DuPage County show. This will be my first time setting up there. I've heard great things about it. Looking forward to it. Saturday, April 5th in Wheaton. I'm probably going to make a baseball weekend out of it because I was looking at the South Bend Cubs schedule. They play in Beloit to open the season. Next Friday is opening day. Next Friday, opening day for the Midwest League, South Bend Cubs in Beloit. So it's a night game, probably going to be cold. I'll probably suck it up and go check out the South Bend Cubs next Friday in Beloit, and then probably get a hotel in Wheaton. That way I don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. Or 3:30 a.m. to get to Wheaton, because that's a little longer drive than St. Charles for the Kane County show. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Split that trip up a little bit, go watch some baseball Friday night, get a hotel, and then do the show in Wheaton on Saturday. And then at some point in the month of April, we're going to do a bargain box storage unit sale from my storage unit here in Madison, Wisconsin. Everything's going to be a dime. Single cards will be a dime. I'll do bulk. I'm going to have a whole bunch of bulk. You can buy a truckload if you want. I've got a whole shelf of binders. Those will be cheap. So I'm looking at potential dates for that will be Saturday, April 12 or Saturday, April 19. And it's going to be weather dependent. I have those 2 weekends open. So one of those 2 Saturdays, probably do like an afternoon, probably like noon to 5 or something like that, noon to 6 maybe. We'll see. Depends on traffic to my storage unit. So stay tuned for that. And once we get a better idea of what weather is going to be like, when we get about a week out. So there's only going to be about a week's notice for my storage unit sale, because April, you know how April can be with weather, especially here in Wisconsin. And then the end of the month, April 26th, Saturday, April 26th is the Madison Card Show. That's the regular 140 table show with sports, Pokemon, everything. And then Sunday, April 27th, the next day, also at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive, is the Madison Pokemon Show. And that's going to be only Pokemon and other TCG. And we're at 100 sold out tables. We've got about a 10 dealer waiting list. And I'm pondering, should I open the downstairs ballroom for the Pokemon Show? We'll see. If I continue seeing demand over the next couple of weeks, we'll expand it. 140 Pokemon tables. I think we could, I'm sure we could fill those. Because I think I had a couple more messages last night about it. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's go to the chat. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Steve is here. Good morning. Last day of spring training. It's probably bittersweet for you. And I'm sure the last day of spring training is always bittersweet. And like spring training is like it is awesome. And Steve gets to experience it every day. So I understand, like, man, it sucks that spring training's ending. But at the same time, it's like you get a few extra days. Now, it's not real spring training. It's not at Sloan Park, and you don't have the tailgate tent, but you got opening day. So that's a little sweetness to the year. And it was a weird year. Spring training was a weird year in many different ways. And hopefully it gets back to normal. A big reason for that was the Cubs trip to Japan just split the whole month. So next year will be better. Won't be, traveling for regular season games right in the middle of March. And I think a lot of our friends skipped spring training this year, and hopefully they come back in 2026. I'll be there. So spring training, it's bittersweet. The end of spring training, it's bittersweet because it's ending, but a new season begins. Kind of like the end of once the World Series ends, it's kind of like, oh man, because baseball's such a marathon. It's like, oh, it sucks that baseball's over, but okay, it's time to relax. And that just means spring training is just a few months away. Art Green in the house. Good morning. Mr. Archer is here. Good morning. Dave Arnold, what's up? Bushnell, Prairie City in the house. L1C, good morning. Hey, Dave, I don't know if you're still he commented 15 minutes ago, but I'm trying to find the hotel we stay at during the National. What the hell's the name of that hotel? L1C, good morning. Red Light, good morning. Kevin's in the house. Good morning. David is here. What's happening? Dan says, started late, 43 minutes late. Thank you, Low Roller Scratcher. He's filling in for LRS today. Yes, I slept in today. Good morning, Unicorn Cupcake. Steve says, Thursday night opening day here in Arizona. Cubs Diamondbacks at Chase Field. Philly Joe is here. Good morning. Gem City Card Show's in the house. Good morning. Dan says, my softball league starts Saturday, but not sure my body will be up for it. Back pain has been unpredictable. That sucks. Get yourself a Shakti mat. Shakti. Shakti mat. Lay on that sucker. It may help. It might not. It's worth a shot. It's only like $25 on Amazon. L1C says, hell, no rules. The calendar doesn't matter. Topps should make some 2011 Topps Chrome super duper high number with trout, purple, pink, aqua speckled, taco with sour cream refractors. There you go. I like it. I like it. Steve says, stay up and look for me and Crawley and 27 others behind first base. I will definitely stay up for at least the first inning. But it may be like after the first inning, it's like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So we'll see. We'll see if I can make it. Maybe I'll have to drink like a Diet Coke at night to keep me awake. Holmes says, good morning. Reds start their march to the Central title on Thursday. That dude from Duryea says, what's up, guys? Arizona is nothing. Try watching your team play a San Diego game that starts at 10:30 Eastern time. There you go. Yeah, for the East Coasters, it's even worse. It's even worse. An hour worse. Steve says, my 2025 bold prediction, the Orioles will not be a playoff team this year. That is bold. That is bold. As much as I hate to agree with that, you might be onto something. The Orioles have been one of the best teams in baseball the last couple of years, and now we are at the find out stage. Do they have success in longevity? However that works. Words out. It's kind of like, and we see this all the time, especially in the game of baseball. In Major League Baseball, we see young teams that have immediate or near immediate success, and then it just kind of falls apart. And you think, oh, this is going to be a dynasty. Think back to the 1980s, mid-1980s New York Mets. You thought that New York Mets team was going to win 7 World Series. And they won 1. The 2016 Chicago Cubs. You thought that team was going to be a dynasty. And they won a single World Series. And I think the Baltimore Orioles could fall prey to that early success, and they haven't even won a World Series. But I think they could fall into that where, they have this early success and then growing pains happen, and injuries happen and stress. When you're young, and I think with baseball, baseball is so psychological. And I think in the game of baseball, when you have, and we saw this in 2016, I think the 2016 Cubs had that perfect cocktail of success and naivete. They were too young to realize what they were playing for. And then I think the stress got to them. In combination, I think this is my thought for the Cubs post 2016 was they experienced that success. They were also so young that long season, spring training, all the way to November 2nd, when they won the World Series, it caught up to them in 2017. And I think part of the struggles in 2017 was they were just out of gas. They were young and didn't have that stamina built up. And then I think in 2018, it got to him. I think it's like, okay, now the pressure's on. Like we won in 2016, we failed in 2017, and now this pressure builds. And as you get older, you start to realize and you focus more and you get into your own head. And I think that's what happened with the Cubs. And I could see that happening with a team like the Orioles. Because they've had that youth on their side the last couple of years. And now it's like, but they haven't won. Now the pressure's really on because they haven't won. And now the pressure's on. They're a little older. They've been in the league. Now they're really pushing. And sometimes when you push, negative results can happen, especially in the game of baseball. So Steve's now, I agree with Steve. I think he's onto something. Maybe it's still a bold prediction, but I think I'm going to agree with Steve. I think that's a great bold prediction. I don't have any I'm not being bold this year. I don't have any bold predictions in baseball. I made a bold prediction about 2025 at the beginning of 2024. I don't know if I said it here. I might have. I say a lot of things here. But I did mention it in the chat, in one of my group chats, that Owen Casey was going to win the 2025 National League Rookie of the Year. Now, he's not even going to be on the opening day roster. Doesn't mean he can't win the Rookie of the Year. That was a pretty bold prediction, calling it nearly 2 years in advance. We'll see. And it's Owen Casey. It's not like he's the number one prospect in baseball where it's like, well, that's not really bold. He's the top prospect in baseball. It's kind of expected that he would win the Rookie of the Year. Not so with Owen Casey. We'll see. I made the prediction in 2024. Would I come out and put money on it today? No. Everybody said Matt Shaw is going to be the rookie. Matt Shaw is a favorite to win Rookie of the Year. And that very well could be. You never know. I mean, baseball is a funny game. Something could happen, and the Cubs need to call up Owen Casey next week or next month, and all of a sudden he rakes and is Rookie of the Year. You never know. But I don't have any bold predictions. My prediction for the Chicago Cubs this year, 86 wins. I've been battling back and forth, and every game, especially when you get into the 80s, means a lot. I've been torn between 86 and 87 wins. So the Cubs won 83 games last year, and they did improve their roster. How much? We'll find out in October. But Kyle Tucker was a big improvement. The bullpen on paper looks good, but you know how bullpens in Major League Baseball, they look great on paper and end up not being great. So, I think Kyle Tucker I think the moves, you're going to have, left field, Ian Happ. I'm going to go through the Chicago Cubs. Everybody else that's not a Cubs fan is going to be falling asleep as I dissect the Chicago Cubs right now. So I'm going to start in the outfield. Left field, Ian Happ. I think he's going to perform near levels from last year. I think Ian Happ is who he is, and we're going to have a similar results out of Ian Happ, which is good. Gold Glove, one of the best hitters on the team. That's solid. And I think we're going to continue getting that out of Ian Happ in left field. Center field, Pete Crow Armstrong. If you look at his overall numbers in 2024, they're this guy sucks offensively. Great glove. I mean, he's going to save some runs in center field. I think his offense is going to be, I think he's going to be the most improved player on this team. I think he's going to be the breakout player on the Chicago Cubs in 2025. I think we'll see great numbers out of, maybe not great, but we'll see much better numbers. And he had a great second half, a great finish to the season in 2024. Hopefully we get that and not what we saw over the course of a full season. It was his rookie year, so we don't know. Ian Happ, we know what's he done over 7 seasons or how many ever seasons he's played. You kind of have an idea of what he's going to perform at. PCA, we don't know, but I think we're going to see improved numbers out of PCA. So I think we're going to see additional bump out of him. Right field, we got Kyle Tucker. That's a huge boost in right field, both offensively and defensively. I think that's 3 wins right there out of Kyle Tucker, and in 3-win improvement with Kyle Tucker in right field. Third base, we've got Matt Shaw. We don't know what we have in Matt Shaw. He's a rookie. He's played 2 Major League Baseball games that counted over in Tokyo. I don't know what to expect out of Matt Shaw. Will he be a plus over last year's third baseman? We finished with Isaac Paredes. We had really terrible third baseman before Paredes, and Paredes really wasn't that good. I hope Matt Shaw will be at or slightly above last year's third baseman performances, with Christopher Morel over there in the first half and Isaac Paredes in the second half. And Paredes didn't do that well in Chicago, even though he was an all-star during the first half. So I think that's kind of, and we don't know with Matt Shaw. So I'm just going to say, no gain there. Shortstop, Dansby Swanson. I think just like PCA, I think we'll see improvement. Dansby's good defensively. He had a down year offensively. He is getting older. Hopefully he can rebound. I think he will. I think Dansby Swanson will see better numbers offensively in 2025 from that shortstop position. Now, am I saying he's going to be 1, 2, 3 WAR better? No, but I think we can get half a WAR more out of Dansby at short. Second base is Nico Hoerner. He should be ready to start on Thursday night against the Diamondbacks on opening night. Again, with Nico, I think just like Ian Happ, I think we're going to see similar production out of Nico Hoerner. Solid, steady Nico Hoerner. First base, we got Michael Busch. There's where I see regression. I see regression out of first base. Michael Busch had a great year at first offensively for the Cubs in 2024 as a rookie, but I think we do see regression out of Busch offensively. So I think that's going to kind of knock down, so if I were grading that infield and outfield out of WAR, +3 for Kyle Tucker, +0.5 out of PCA, +0.5 out of Dansby, and -0.5 out of Michael Busch. So we're at +3.5. So we're at 86.5 wins right now. At catcher, we've got Miguel Amaya and then Carson Kelly. They'll kind of probably platoon at catcher. I'm going to put we had terrible output, especially in the first 3 quarters of the season, offensively from our catchers, Amaya and Yan Gomes. Hopefully, we'll see improvement. Hopefully, we can see a half WAR improvement, but I'm going to say 0 WAR improvement from the catcher position. And then your starting rotation. I think we see regression out of the starting rotation. This is my biggest concern, is the starting rotation. I think the bullpen is improved. We don't know. Bullpens are really difficult to judge on paper. We've just got to put those guys in game situations and see how they play out. But the starting rotation stamina over the course of a full season is what really concerns me. You've got a plethora of starting pitching candidates to start the year, but then what happens over the course of the year? Injuries happen. Shitty starts happen. So all of a sudden it's like we're short on starting pitching. And I think that could hurt the Cubs by the second half and down the stretch. I'm going to knock down. It could be as much as a full WAR in the starting rotation. Maybe you get a little plus WAR out of the bullpen. So I'm going to say a minus between the bullpen and in the starting rotation. I'm going to see -0.5 WAR. So that puts us at 3 WAR, 86 wins for the Chicago Cubs in 2025. Hopefully nobody's snoring on their keyboard listening to me ramble on about WAR and the Chicago Cubs 2025 and in my predictions on this year's team. So that's my thoughts on this year's Chicago Cubs. That rotation really concerns me. Right now you've got kind of it's not really a battle anymore. You've got 1 spring training game left and then opening day in less than 2 days. So, or in 2 days, it looks like Ben Brown could be that number 5 starter. Here's my biggest question mark with that number 5 role. It's kind of a battle between Ben Brown, who's only thrown, I think, at most 100 innings in a season, You've got Ben Brown versus a guy like Colin Ray, not the country singer, but the former Milwaukee Brewer. Colin Ray's a veteran, experienced, lots of starts under his belt, lots of innings under his belt. Ben Brown, very few innings. We don't know what we have. Jury's out on Ben Brown. Could he be something? Could he not? I'm not high on Ben Brown. I think he's going to be a really solid major league player. I don't think he's going to be a top of the rotation guy, but I think he's going to be a solid big leaguer. So that's my thoughts on Ben Brown. Now, do you want Ben Brown to start the season? Do you want him to start next week and be the number 5 starter and get 120 innings, 130 innings out of him, but then he's shut down by September and going down the stretch, and then you've got to bring Colin Ray in, who may have been in long relief all season, and then now you've got to get him stretched out in the second half and gear up for the stretch run? Or do you put Ben Brown in long relief and want him down the stretch? Now, my personal opinion is I'd rather stretch out Ben Brown now and get him acclimated now to starts in April, as opposed to stretching him out in long relief and then getting him some spot starts during the season. And then, hey, now it really counts. And now we're going to throw the rookie to the wolves during a playoff run, a potential stretch run for the playoffs. So my thoughts, Ben Brown should be the number 5 starting pitcher now. Colin Ray, he's got a lot of innings under his belt. And, I think he's got the head for, because it's all psychological. He's got the head to be in long relief and make those spot starts and come in if needed in September. All right, here we go. Let's go back to the chat. A lot of Cubs talk. I'm sorry, but that's who I am. John says, is it allowable to wear 2 differing color schemes of your favorite team at the same time? Yes. Yes, it is. Dan says, where did you buy the hat? I honestly don't know. I've had this hat for a long time. The funny thing is, this hat gets a lot of comments. I was in an airport. I don't know which airport. Actually, I think it was in Newark, New Jersey, of all places. I think I was in Newark, and a fellow Cubs fan, because I think we were flying back from Newark to Chicago, and a Cubs fan says, "Hey, that's a cool hat." He's like, I've never seen that before. I got a good friend of mine, and he's like, I know about the Cubs hats because he buys every single hat that comes out. And I don't think I've ever seen him with that hat. And I'm like, I don't know. It is a cool hat. Where's it from? Oh, it's the 40. It's like a throwback hat from, I don't even know when it's a Cooperstown collection. It's Cooperstown Collection 47brand.com. So yeah, it is a cool hat. And it mismatches with my shirt, and I don't give a shit. Dan says, were you ever a fluffer? I was never a fluffer, no. Unicorn Cupcake says, got an email from PSA about submitting at the Madison Card Show in Newport Beach, California. The location is correct if you open the email, though. Obviously a typo. Newport Beach. Isn't Newport Beach like isn't that like the PSA headquarters for submissions? So it's probably like, I think that's where they go for grading, is in Newport Beach. Let's see. Tracy says, good morning. 2 days until opening day for my Royals. Does every team open on opening? Does every team have a game on Thursday? Or is there like one matchup that has to wait? I much prefer the way it is this year, and I think even last year was like this, where there's like every game is on the slate, where in prior years it's been like a triple header and there's like 3 opening day games. I think also something different. Let me take a look at the schedule here real quick. I think also something different, at least for the Cubs. It seems like every year the Cubs open with a game, and then they have the next day off, where that's not the case. They play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they don't have an off day until Thursday, April 3rd. So they play seven straight games to open the season. I like that. And I understand why there's more built-in off days in the first month of the season. I get it, but as a fan, I don't like it. Give me baseball. I've been waiting all winter for this. Dan says, missed you for Menko meetup on Saturday night. It was a late decision to go live. Talking to Unicorn Cupcake. Unicorn Cupcake says, damn, I'll have to rewatch, but live is the best. I do like live videos the best. Zach says, Luis Robert stock is up. Dan, what are you asking Bo? Sounds a bit personal, no? Dan wants to know if Zach is going to the National this year. He called his dog a fluffer, so obviously I had to ask. Kyle, good morning. Zach says, we do, not sure on the timing yet, as I have a work event during the week and the schedule is TBD. Most likely the weekend, so hopefully we can see a lot of people like Mike Smith, low roller scratcher. Dan says, bought the U.S. airfare in a single one-day national ticket. Was looking to go on Friday, but we'll see. Want to go to a Toy Con on Saturday in Bridgeview. Interesting. I will be at the National every day, Wednesday through Sunday. We'll do a Hobby Evolution meetup. I don't know when. Maybe Saturday night. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. I guess it's kind of up to the chat. Like when would you want to meet up? Where are we at? Sports card ripping teacher. Will Gage Workman cards be easy to find at the Madison Card Show? Probably not. Hell, people don't even. Everybody's got Cam Smith goggles on. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing about Cam Smith. Thank you, Shane, for bringing it up again yesterday morning. Like Cam Smith. You know what? And people are quick to judge Jed Hoyer for trading away Cam Smith and his crazy spring training numbers for Kyle Tucker, arguably a top 10 player in all of Major League Baseball. Take a look at these numbers. And if you're on Twitter, you may have seen them. Player A has a 342 batting average, a 1.130 OPS, 4 home runs and 11 RBI, and 0 stolen bases. Player B has a batting average 30 points higher, 372, also has 4 home runs, has driven in 4 more RBI than player A, has a 1.150 OPS, and has stolen 3 bases. Player A is Cam Smith, folks. Player B, Gage Workman. That's Gage Tater Workman. So there you go. A Rule 5 pick. So this is kind of a cautionary tale. Don't get wrapped up in spring training numbers, whether it's Cam Smith, who you think is going to be the next Mickey Mantle, or it's Gage Tater Workman, who was left on the scrap heap by the Detroit Tigers in the December Rule 5 draft. It's spring training. Now, will hopefully both of them go on to have successful Major League Baseball careers. But it is what it is. Spring training games don't count. And those stats mean nothing. We'll find out very soon, won't we, in the Major League Baseball season. And it looks like Gage Workman will make the opening day roster. He does have to stay on the active 26-man roster the entire season. Otherwise, he must be returned to the Tigers. Zach says, Bo, any thoughts on doing nostalgia rips during the eBay auction live? Could be a fun addition to the channel to drive viewership. You can check out some nostalgia rips in my YouTube channel. Sports card ripping teacher says, I would go to that show, but the Cubs have a game. Need to sell ice cold beer when it's 35 degrees outside. Sports card ripping teacher says hello to Zach. Orlando is here. Good morning. Dan, you just need to hit for power and not worry about running the bases. Peter's in the house. Good morning. Does Peter K. Steinberg live in Chalfont? I don't know. Ask him. Dan says, bet MGM has White Sox over under 53.5 wins. So that's a 100-plus loss season. Dan says, but that's not me. A lot of stand-up doubles, but the stand-up triples are a little sad. Zach says, Steve, if I know anything, Bo agreeing with your sports prediction may not be the best news you will get today. Maybe not a hot take. Johnny M says, good morning. Found 11 paper, 4 chrome, 1 refractor, Christian Campbell 2023 Bowman draft. Got to strike while the oven's hot. Hey, I did look for Christian Campbell yesterday because all of my Bowman prospects are alphabetized. I only found 1 paper, Christian Campbell, and it's going at auction tonight. We're going to throw it up for auction. Let me see. I think it's in this batch that I already uploaded to Car Dealer Pro. There it is. Christian Campbell. Christian Campbell, first Bowman paper. Did not have any chrome or refractors, which is surprising because I thought I bought a bulk. I thought I had a bulk buy that included a lot of 2023 Bowman draft. Apparently not. Wasn't Salas the big hunt when it came out? Yeah, Ethan Salas. He sure was. And Ethan Salas is still like 19 years old or 20 years old. Zach says, I don't even know the team Christian Campbell is on. I need to look him up. Boston Red Sox. There you go. Max has the answer. Victor says, good morning. Go Cubs. Go Cubs, go. Thanks, Max. LRS has a better prediction track record than Bo. Hey, he's doing pretty well lately. Bitcoin, brackets. Zach says, Kyle Tucker, top 10 player. Absolutely. Card Collector says, Cubs really don't catch a break with their opening schedule. I like it. I actually like opening the season how they do. They don't have to go anywhere from spring training. They play right there in Phoenix. So 4-game series against the Diamondbacks. It's basically like a home series. They haven't even come home to Chicago. They're home at spring training where they've been the last 6, 7, or even longer weeks. And then you go to Sacramento to play the Oakland A's, which is okay. I mean, they've been on West Coast time for the last couple months. Well, minus the trip to Japan. And then you come back to Chicago. So you don't have, hopefully you get an extra week and a half before you hit the Midwest winter still in Chicago. So I actually like this West Coast. Now, I don't like the Japan opening series, which I just don't like opening series in the middle of March, regardless of location. But that does, there still might be some fatigue going in. People are complaining about spring trading losses after coming back from Japan. That's ridiculous because you just came back from Japan and it's spring training. They don't mean anything. So I actually like the way the schedule laid out for the Cubs this year, minus Tokyo. Dan says, I don't follow MLB when I say I thought the Cubs-Dodgers Tokyo series started the season. It did start the season. Kind of. I don't really consider it starting the regular season. It counts in the standings, yes. But was it opening day? Not really. Not in my opinion. Max says it did. Dan says did not. Think it starts this week or next. Well, there's been 2 games played already that count toward the regular season standings. Traditional opening day is Thursday. Card Collector says Cubs don't get a break until May. Honestly, they play the Dodgers twice, Arizona twice, Padres, Phillies, A's, Rangers. Yeah, let's load it up, man. You got to win the games. Let's do it. Dansby has been around for a while. Looking for an improvement is a stretch. It's the thing is, Dansby's put up great numbers over the course of his career. He had a down year. When you look at his numbers, and let's look at his numbers. I hope we see an improvement because this is last year's numbers is not what the Cubs signed, really. Let's see. Come on. Where's the past standing? So let's look at post-COVID. So 2021, age 27, he had a 2.3 WAR, hit 248, OPS of 760, had 27 home runs. 2022 was an all-star, 5.5 WAR, played in all 162 games that season, hit 277, OPS of 776, stole 18 bases, hit 25 home runs. 2023, his first year with the Cubs, he had a really good year, 5.2 WAR, hit 244, so his batting average was actually pretty close. His career average is 252 batting average. And his OPS was 744. Home runs, 22, 9 stolen bases. Last year, lost power, but did regain some speed on the base paths. Actually, he had a 3.9 WAR last year. That's actually a lot better than I thought. I was thinking he was around like 2 WAR, not 4. 242 batting average. He had a 701 OPS. So I'm hoping to see improvement out of the batting average, but obviously it's not going to be much. Can he hit 250? I think 250 would be a win. Hopefully he can get back. His OPS last year was the lowest since 2018 when he was 24. And it was actually just a couple ticks higher, two ticks higher. It was 699 and 18, 701 last year. So hopefully we can see better OPS. Hopefully he can get back to 740 to 750 OPS. There's been changes with I think his elevated stolen bases was, part of the rule change. So, I think we can get 19 stolen bases out of him. This is his age 31 season. Now is the time where we start seeing a little regression out of players at this level. Hopefully we can get one more solid year from his peak years, 27 to 30. But is 4 WAR out of the quest? 4 WAR is going to be tough now that I think about it. But I still think we've got a little bit more out of Dansby this year. I think we can get one more. I think we can see some improvement. I think we can see a little better numbers out of Dansby this year. But next year, now you're going into your age 32 season, and I think that's really gonna start going back down. And I think he signed, what's his contract through? Signed through 2029. Eesh. That's gonna be a really bad contract in 2028 and 2029. Which that's pretty par for the course when it comes to those 7-year, 8-year contracts. Zach says, who will have a better tenure, Kyle Tucker on the Cubs or what Nomar Mazara did for the White Sox in 2020? Does 2020 even 2020 counts toward the regular season standings like Japan counts in 2025? The 2020 season, yeah, it counts, but does it really? Like 1994. Unicorn Cupcake says to Max, are you going to be set up at the TCG show in Madison on April 27th? Max says, yup. Had to cancel other plans, but I'll be there. Thank you, Max. Tina, good morning. Pumped for the show this Saturday. Madison Card Show, PSA in the house. War. What is it good for? LOL. Johnny says, I would rather hear about the Cubs than card shows since I don't hate the Cubs. Johnny M hates card shows. He hates the card shows. This Saturday, Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive, 9 to 3, free admission. Zach says, I just read that Ethan did not make the opening day roster. That is correct. ChatGPT says that despite his demotion, he remains a valuable asset for the Cubs. His AAA performance will influence future opportunities. Yes. So actually he got, he was sent back to minor league camp. So we hung out Wednesday night so this is back when I was down there. So Wednesday night we had our rip night. He was supposed to throw Thursday afternoon in a sim game on the backfield, but then they elevated him to the game on Thursday night against the Royals, and he gave up a home run to Jack Caglianone. And then Friday morning he got sent down to minor league camp, but his performance on what they, all the analytics and stuff was actually improved over last year's stuff. So the main reason he was sent to minor league camp and sent to AAA was because he has 5 options. So they can put him on a shuttle back and forth from Des Moines to Chicago all season long, basically. So that's when you get into the business of baseball. A lot of times you'll see players start the season in Iowa or wherever their AAA team is, because they have options. We're probably going to see more of that out of the bullpen. I don't know if I've seen varying reports that Eli Morgan was now Eli Morgan was supposed to be like one of the top guys in the Cubs bullpen, but he has options remaining. And the Cubs have some guys in the bullpen that don't have options. And if you don't have an option, you either have to make the team or you're a free agent. So you just have to play that game on the business side of baseball. Max says, to quote Jackie Chan and to answer Brian, absolutely noting. I don't know what that was in regards to. Porter says, sign Lance Lynn and your rotation worries are over. Oh, God. He'd make Wrigley somewhat enjoyable for a change. For you, not for me. Zach says, love Lance Lynn. Unfortunately, at this stage of his career, he would give up 100 home runs at the friendly confines. Can you imagine Lance Lynn pitching at Wrigley Field more times than as a visitor? Signing Lance Lynn might increase their worries. It will increase their worry. It would increase their worries. SoCal guys in the house. For years, I always hoped that Topps could somehow delay Heritage a year. That would make Heritage a 50-year anniversary set each year. That's been my question for a long time now. It's like, why is it 49 or 51? It's 1 year off. And it's like, why is this the way it is? So this year, Heritage would be 76. So it's 2025, but this year's Heritage will be 1976 if they do it. Card collectors just waiting for Topps Chrome. Gem City Card Show says, I hope Bo does some breaks. I think that would be fun. Card Collector says, is anyone here considering going to Fanatics Fest? I would like to check it out. Does that mean I'll go? No. But it's something that it's kind of like, for me, it's not a card show. Like if you're expecting a card show, and this has been talked about ad nauseum, it's more of an experience, but it's a true experience. With what they have to offer. It's on my bucket list, but am I going to make an effort to go? No, not really. It's kind of like Burbank's on my bucket list. I'd like to get to the Nashville card show one of these times because I've never been to Nashville. Although if I go to a card show, I'm not spending any time sightseeing Nashville. I'm going to the card show and then going back to the hotel and looking at baseball cards. That's what I do. But I've heard from a lot of people that the Nashville show has great bargain boxes. So where are we at? Gem City Card Show says, also, Max, thank you for the Jackie quote. Unicorn Cupcake says, a guy on eBay made an offer on a card I was selling, rescinded the offer 8 hours later, then 12 hours after that, bought the card for full price. Pretty weird. Cool. Yeah. Max says, yes, it started the season. That's not a debatable topic. Did it really start the season? Really? The start of the regular season of Major League Baseball has occurred. ChatGPT for the win. Correct. It wasn't really opening day. Opening day is Thursday. Those games just happened to count toward the regular season standings. Good morning, TD Sports Cards. Porter says, do you still have Jordan Walker on your fantasy roster? I do not. Take a gander at those spring training numbers. Oof. No, he was a keeper last year. That one of the big time whiffs in my fantasy baseball playing career. But hey, I picked up Victor Scott. Victor Scott was one of my prospect keepers last year and went the way of Jordan Walker. Actually, Victor Scott was even worse than Jordan Walker. I'm hoping that things play out a little better now. He's he's like my last player on the bench. But I picked it when I saw he made the opening. He's going to be the opening day center fielder. I'm like, you know what? I gave this guy a chance last year on my fantasy baseball team, and but I'm going to give him a second chance. I dropped a reliever that is not going to be any leverage situations. So I added when I drafted, I picked an extra relief pitcher at the beginning of the season. Like you can massage your roster every which way but Sunday. So it's fun finding going on the waiver wire and all that. So Victor Scott is on my roster. Max says, does your quarterback know what being a billionaire means? I thought you had to be somewhat intelligent to be a quarterback in the NFL. I'm not sure what that's in regards to. Probably talking about my quarterback one, Caleb Williams. Gem City Card Show says, Bo, help me understand. Where is Riley Martin at in the Cubs system? Says he was activated March 6th. So he was, he is in AAA. He's going to get a chance at some point. But I also said that with Cam Sanders, and Cam Sanders never got a shot, and I don't know where Cam is now. But Riley reminds me a lot of Cam Sanders. So hopefully he gets a shot. We shall see, but he'll open the season in Iowa. Zach says, Bo, if the Cubs won the World Series in 2020, would you have raised a flag at Wrigley? Your takes this morning are even turning off LRS, and he has refused to comment. 2020 didn't count. Sports Card Ripping Teacher says, Cubs go as PCA and Bush go. Dan says, have a good Tuesday. Mine went okay. Good night. Good night, Dan. Max says, I wouldn't plan to go to Fanatics Fest anymore after they canceled the last one. No, they did not cancel Fanatics Fest. Fanatics Fest is in New York City, which was from a monetary standpoint, it was not successful, but from everything else, it was a very successful event. They canceled their card shows and they're restructuring their card shows. Fanatics Fest is still a go, and it will still happen just like last year's happened. And actually everybody that I've heard, I did not hear a poor review. I don't know who you're listening to or watching. I'm curious who said they would not go back. Every single person that I heard said that it was awesome and they would go back and loved it, because it wasn't a card show. Like, if you wanted a card show, you probably were disappointed. But you just had to go in knowing that this is about just meeting celebrities, athletes, walking down the WWE aisle, getting into the octagon, running a 40-yard dash, like doing all that type of stuff. If you just wanted to go dig through bargain boxes, you were going to be disappointed. Fuck yes, the game's counted. Dad Dude from Duryea says, card shows are great for finding cheaper out-of-market players. I've done well along those lines. I love going. That is fun because, you know, around here and around Chicago, looking for Cubs, there's a lot of guys, like, especially with prospects, that they get eaten up around here. But if you go to Dallas or Utah, there's probably going to be stuff you find in bargain boxes like I'm not going to spend $5 for this guy I've never heard of, but 5 people are like, oh yeah, I want that. So totally agree with that. Porter says, I'm planning to attend the National this year. It's only a 3.5-hour drive for me. Super douchey name, but it looks like a cool show. I've heard great things about the National, the Nashville National. Johnny M says, I'm an hour's drive from Fanatics Fest and you couldn't pay me to go. But Johnny M also hates card shows, so I'm not surprised by that take. Max said he wanted to sign the first $1 billion NFL contract. He realizes that the money gets taxed and you don't get everything at once, right? So there you go. I don't want to hear from people that Ruben is in their pockets. Max says, Porter, it's like every other big show trying to be the National. Table's too expensive to have a ton of bargain boxes. Meh. Well, I'm curious, who did you hear from that went to Fanatics Fest that says they wouldn't go back? I am genuinely curious because I did not hear a bad thing about Fanatics Fest. I did not hear a single person say, and that's on like social media where people shit on everything. I didn't hear anybody that actually went to Fanatics Fest bitch about Fanatics Fest. I heard a lot of people that didn't go bitch about it, but from people that actually went, it was surprisingly, overwhelmingly positive. So I'm still waiting for Max to answer me on who he heard. I want receipts. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more cards at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. Almost 500 auctions are live. There's currently 470 auctions running live right now. There's going to be another batch going live tonight. Tonight, we've got baseball prospects and we've got basketball. LeBron James. I've got Luka. We've got Zion. A whole bunch of basketball going up for auction. Basketball doesn't sell, so you're going to get some steals and deals on my basketball auctions. So check those out. 99centcards.com. Max says not much for cards, etc. Ruben sponsoring Madison now. You haven't given me a fucking answer, Max. All I want is who did you hear that talked shit about Fanatics Fest that actually attended the show, and you haven't given me an answer. I'm just telling you that from social media and videos that I watched and the Twitter content that I don't even want to consume, not a single person I saw went to Fanatics Fest and said, I would never go back. This sucked. And you still, 10 minutes later, have not given me an answer, have not given me any names, have not given me any YouTube channels, have not given me any social media people that said they would never go back to Fanatics Fest. I don't see it. Who? I'm looking at all correct. I'm gonna show off all of your chats. I don't want to hear from people that Ruben isn't in their pocket. That's not an answer. Max says Porter. It's like every big show trying to be the national. That's not an answer. Max says tons of people said the ticketing process and everything was a nightmare. Tons of people is not answering. This is not an answer. This is not an answer. Your Wisconsin education is worse than Illinois education. This is not an answer. I want specifics. Show me the receipts. Show me the receipts. You're not. You're just making bullshit up. The YouTube people, I don't care about them. Talking out of both sides of your mouth. Talking out of both sides of your mouth. Bo is getting USPS mad. USPS mad. Don't get me started, Brian. Don't get me started on the post office. Hey, I still only received, I filled out 24 PIP claims. 12 were accepted. Only 12 of the 24 I got refunded for. I still haven't heard back on my Ground Advantage insurance claim through USPS. And then my delayed package, they didn't do shit for that. But Louis DeJoy resigned. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I mean, we'll see. Flipping Sports Guy, welcome back. It's been a while. Perfect time to join the chat. We're just waiting for Max to give answers, but he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any answers. So we're going to be waiting a while. Gem City says, I heard it was a great time from Sports Card Nonsense hosts. I heard, in fact, somebody, I'll give you Watch the Breaks, Ivan. He is not in Michael Rubin's pocket. And in fact, if you follow Watch the Breaks on Twitter, Ivan, he's very, he is very critical of Fanatics. And he said it was awesome. And I can, actually, it was in a direct message, so I'm not going to show it, but in a private message, but I'm sure he would say the same. I'm sure he did say the same publicly. Let's see. That dude from Duryea says, so you spent a day to recoup roughly $30 from the Postal Service. I spent about 45 minutes, and it was $50. So basically, I mean, what $40 an hour, which had I known I was only going to get $50 back, would I have spent 45 minutes doing it? Maybe not. I don't know. But I wouldn't say it was a waste of time, but it's annoying. I was hoping to get all $100 back. It was like 100 or 110, and I got 50 back. Max doesn't have so you don't have shit, Max. You don't have shit. You're just talking out of your ass. And I will. I've already taken my Lisinopril, and I'm going to be taking my mushroom coffee here in a second. I don't know if you think if that's a dig at me or something, but I'm very happy taking my lisinopril and drinking my mushroom coffee. That dude says, I was only asking before I take that leap. I guess it kind of depends on if you value the time and what you're getting out of it. Like I had some claims that were like $12 and $18. So that was, in my opinion, that was worth it. I had so many that I just did them, all at the same time instead of just doing, oh, here's a 99-cent claim. Here's a $1.50 claim. So normally, like I filled out, like there were probably 4 99-cent claims that normally I would just eat. But since I was in there doing them all at once, it's like, well, fuck it. I'm already here. I had a nice little routine down. At the end, it was only taking me, I think, 1 or 2 minutes per once I figured out exactly my routine on filling them out. It took me maybe 2 minutes total to fill everything out, and maybe even less than that, maybe 90 seconds to get the screenshots. It took me a while to figure out how to screenshot on my computer, and then where to save it and upload and all that crap. But once I got the routine down, it didn't take long at all. So now that I have that routine down, maybe I will do like, oh, it's going to take me 2 minutes and I'll get $1 back, right? So maybe in the future I might do that. I think I have to refund a couple more now that we're back to shipping every day. I'm getting claims every day. Art Green says $50 for 45 minutes. Absolutely worthwhile use of time. LOL. Most people would dream for that hourly rate. Porter says, actually, Max is talking out of your ass. He's talking out of somebody's ass. All right. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit up my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Auctions live, 470 auctions are live right now. Get those bids in now so you don't forget. I've got more auctions starting tonight. It means next Tuesday we're going to go live for eBay auctions live. So, and I did not have a call with eBay yesterday. Hopefully this week we can I'll get some information and that call takes place. So hopefully that happens soon. All righty. Have a great day. We'll do this again tomorrow morning. See you then.